I'm down! Get him!
No one cares what I'm
Get him! Get him! Get him! That's me, you idiots! That's me! Welcome back to our Starfinder campaign. As we mentioned before, we lost episode 3 due to technical failings that resulted in me DMing an empty room for 5 hours. So, anyway, here is episode 4. Enjoy. Alright, cool. So, we lost the session, because, you know, we're good like that. And there will be a separate recap for that session. Who wants to kick off with rough recap of what happened last time?
So, we got pulled out of going places into what turned out to be a system containing the remains of a ship. A very, very old ship. Let's see if I have its name here.
You can get non-existent inspiration if you can tell
It's the Ulster.
Inspiration.
In fact, I do have it in my... It's the Ulster.
Good stuff. Notes.
Indeed. Well, they're not particularly expansive notes, but they are notes. So this was a ship predating the fall of the human empire. So we went to go and investigate.
Oh, yes, we went to go and investigate.
Absolutely nothing can go wrong, I'm sure.
Landed in the ships, in one of the ship's many, I presume, many docking bays.
Yes, otherwise it's very small.
Had a bit of a poke about. Found, you know, what you'd expect, the innards of a ship, you know, cargo, living spaces, cryopods, one of which was still actively preserving life, turned out to be a second-class Chorum called Lorella. Not long after finding her, of course, I'm sort of glossing over the whole ghost aspect there. That was pretty cool. Not so long after finding her, a group of Nesians made themselves known. This is an alien race that tends to nest in ships with all the teeth and the fangs and the claws and the acid and, you know,
totally not ripping off a xenomorph.
Nope, definitely not.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Who became active all of a sudden after we managed to finish, you know, hacking their doors open and everything, because not knowing that was a bad idea. Unleashing them into the innards of the ship, we had to run, and most of us managed to make it fairly safely back on the ship. I say most of us, because Zeb, after deciding that he wasn't going to go after loot, decided to, in fact, go after some different loot.
Well, that's called a technicality.
So he technically wasn't wrong. Was forced by, shall we say, unfortunate circumstance, through absolutely positively no fault of his own whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely.
Become rather intimate with a torpedo tube.
Yes, he did. He yeeted himself down that torpedo tube as fast as was vesically possible.
Wiggled himself to safety.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Wiggles
he did.
for freedom!
While losing all of the loot that he had previously gained.
Yes, because these things decided to drop acid.
As penance for idiocy.
Of course, in a choice between his loot and his skull, I think he sacrificed the right thing.
True.
That's
not entirely
debatable.
Sure.
Debatable
I'm
for
not
the rest of the crew.
Well, dead men gather no loot.
Yes, exactly.
Indeed. Dead men make no mistakes.
Fool and his money are soon partying.
So he's about as useful as a corpse, is what you're saying there.
Chocolate teapot is a technical term.
Corpses are slightly more useful. They can
Grow mushrooms on them.
They can be used to feed a small gathering for a short time, or a very small gathering for a fairly long time.
All right, black silver. It's a bit dark, but sure. Corpses have use. Emergency rations, good enough.
I'm just being pragmatic here.
Right. And after that, everybody lived happily ever after and sailed away into the sunset.
Well, we returned back to base, yeah.
apart from the small child.
So we are currently now back on the ship and are about to. I believe we started flying back.
You did. You started heading back to Ryst station where you started to effectively collect payment for the job of going to the thing that you could have done last session had you not randomly decided to scan radio signals in drift.
Hold on a second. It was heavily encouraged that we went there. If I recall correctly, if it comes up on your system, you basically have to go. Otherwise, the scan police will pwn you.
Taking a page out of the Expanse law, where distress signals are logged. If you pick up a distress signal, you have to investigate it if it's registered on the system, unless you know how to scrub a system of it, which again is a crime, and not answering a distress call is also a crime. It's how they keep people from not dying in the vast expanse of space.
Remind me, what was the rule about if you don't see or hear a distress signal, but there was one, but your ship didn't pick it up?
Well, then your ship didn't
pick it up. You wouldn't know there was one. If you okay, so for example, with that ship, the Alston, if you'd have showed up, it's clearly old and it's clearly scrap. Clearly, you could have just left.
Could we claim being like blind and deaf as an excuse? We can claim we were disabled.
First question: How did you pilot the vessel?
Well, we acquired it in a game of chance.
And flew it here how?
We acquired it in a game of chance.
He appears to be stuck in a loop.
We did not get here on the hopes and dreams of our players.
Get here on rainbows and unicorns and fluffy things. You flew here.
He's currently suffering from stack overflow and is repeating the last statement repeatedly.
Yes, he's stuck in a loop and she's an idiot. Anyway, so it has taken roughly 2 days in the drift to come to Ryst station. Are you doing anything in the drift?
No.
That's an answer.
Cooking.
An answer. Okay. See your space.
What is there to do in this drift?
The drift is the another level of space where transport is a lot easier, but it's also a very kind of not something you want to mess with. Every time you go into it, it causes more holes between regular space and drift space.
I'll leave it.
Self-fulfilling prophecy of doom that will eventually come to a head at some point. Way down the line. That's not your problem.
I will endeavour not to poke the giant.
You can just chill in the ship for 2 days and clean, train, do whatever you want.
Basically, familiarise myself with the computer system and then pretty much live in there for a bit.
Gotcha. Or you can do what you did last time and randomly start scanning for signals to get pulled out into another problem.
Let's not. I want to get paid.
All right.
I will be in the system. I will be blocking any further attempts.
Good stuff. So, 2 days pass without incident.
I'm going to be that journal in the meantime.
Yes.
Yeah, the journal.
Yes. So, 2 days pass without incident. The drift itself seems fairly calm, which normally means there's a storm coming. Good kind of gauge. If it's a bit choppy, it's normal. If it's very placid base, it means that it's kind of building towards a storm. Whether that's a storm where you're going, where you were from, just in the drift, could be anything. Not really astrometeorologists. So, 2 days pass without incident. So on to the journal. So you're studying the journal. It's pretty much got the same info that you had from it last time. Like, it's the same precursor group, the order of the carriage, if I remember rightly.
Yes, it was.
Yep, carriage order. Save me digging through more notes.
I remember because I was quite interested in that. It was like a Freemason situation, I think.
Yes, it was a precursor to the Solaran orders that there are now.
You were interested in the story MacGuffin that is Iliad's whole shtick.
Yes. And pretty much what you can pull from this journal is this guy was a lieutenant, held a position on the ship, seemed to be fairly good at his job, also happened to be a member of the carriage order, and the only thing that shows up as being slightly odd is there is mention of additional cargo that he knows about that he's not supposed to be writing down.
Is there any indication of what it might be? I mean, it's not to do with solar tears or anything like that, right?
No, not to do with solar tears. This is to do with there's a name of a colony that you never heard of called Victoria.
Colony,
yeah.
Colony. Okay.
So, as you know, there are 6 missing colonies. That you don't even have a name for them. You just know that there were a number. People have only found X amount missing 6. So Victoria would be one of the original Terran Empire colonies, and he makes mention of them not being particularly empire-fearing folk. Think secessionists, not so much a full-blown like rebellion type situation, but people who are America to England, not particularly happy about.
But does it look like this lieutenant was potentially in bed with these guys?
It looks like it looks like he may have been aware that the ship had something to do with them, and was annoyed about it.
Okay, and does it actually say where this colony is, or
there is there's a mention of a system, but it's not a system. It's not a system that you recognise. Oops.
But I could find it by using this book.
You could potentially find it because he does have several other systems.
Like cross-reference it and trying
effectively, but also knowing what you're looking for, you could. Now that you've got a name, you would know that Victoria was a colony name, not a town name, not a station name, and not a ship name. So a lot of the records were lost during the collapse. A lot of stuff got fried. If you were to say salvage old Terran Imperial outposts, you might find a data shell that might have mention of the colony. Now that you know what you're looking for, blind.
Right. Okay. I'll commit those things to memory.
Okay.
Those names, and just put obviously just read through for anything else. But then, other than that, just get on with our journey towards back to turning this job.
All right, fair dues. Anybody else got anything else?
No, I'm just going to be maintaining the ship and making sure that our course doesn't go awry.
So we, besides those things, we didn't pick up anything else to my recollection, did we?
No, the rest of it was lost.
All right, so I guess I'll talk to the girl or spend time with the girl.
She is recovering in pretty much her psychic abilities have exhausted her, and she's pretty much kind of very quiet at the moment. But you could go and attempt to talk. But
okay. I guess just check in on her, make sure that she's okay.
Yeah, just make a quick roll, see if she's up and about, or if she's in a dormant state. Not really, kind of up and about, but not talkative. Just appears for a second, kind of waves and disappears.
Alright, I'll make some cocoa or some sort of equivalent to that. I'd imagine we have some sort of dry ration.
Right.
And then offer it to her.
psychic beings cannot eat or drink.
Then-
She is literally a psychic projection.
Then I shall drink it
I will drink it and laugh.
and laugh at it. Your inability to consume things makes me sad. Oh well, fuck it.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's not a lot to be really gained by right now. Still kind of resting. Mate, after a couple of days of being kind of like dormant, might have better luck. But right now, after everything that went through and what she did on the station,
So
kind of quiet right now.
So her physical form hasn't is still in the pod, all sort of.
The physical form is currently hidden in a smuggler's compartment under the floor.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I forgot. I actually forgot that it was her hollow form.
Oh yeah, it's not a hollow form; it's a psychic projection, and it's her physical form is effectively a desiccated corpse in the pod, because they're not supposed to be used. These were not colony cryopods; these were long-term. You weren't supposed to be in them for centuries. This was like maybe up to 100 years, but the system is still keeping her alive, but would never be able to kind of recover without the modern medicine that you have now.
We also, like in the previous session, did state
I'll
that
be right back.
whilst we're... Oh,
No,
okay.
continue. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Keep talking, bro.
Yeah, but if the recording stopped, I don't know.
No, it hasn't.
Okay, well, in the previous session, it was also stated that the girl should remain hidden whilst we're on the station, as to not draw attention to the fact that we might have a girl in a box hidden in the ship. That was it.
Must be the start of an anime or three.
Yeah, it's got some outlaw star vibes to it.
Yeah, Elemental Jade started similarly as well.
So did Firefly, actually.
I'm more operating on a space dandy level.
2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 6, 7,
I have in fact returned with.
Nice.
Was the recording continuing while you were gone?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
2, 3,
Normally you would stop it.
10,
No, that's why I said. Continue.
6.
Okay. I said what I needed to say.
Okay. Is it prevalent that I'm aware of it, or not?
Just a reminder from the previous session that we asked that she keep herself hidden whilst we're on the station.
Yes, so she should not, freak out. Harbour Master and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 days pass without incident. Everybody's doing their thing, kind of making hot cocoa and blocking people from doing things. And reading. As you are approaching the system, you drop from the drift, and you pretty much drop out very close to the system. First thing that comes on is the ship's AI. Spins up and literally just says, "We have a dock request."
Dock request?
Yeah, apparently they're experiencing high volume. They're requesting us to dock level 17, Bay 9.
Level 17, Bay 9.
Can we actually see physically that that's not a load of bullshit?
It is a load of bullshit. There are literally, you can see bays open.
Okay, challenge it.
Ace says, "You want me to challenge it?" Okay. It goes off for a second, comes back on and just says, "They're pretty, adamant that we need to land at Bay 9. Because I'm seeing here that Bay 9 is a military designation."
Can we... Alright.
Would this by chance have anything to do with the distress signal that we picked up?
They haven't initiated any sort of scans of our systems.
No, but
Um,
they might have discovered the log as soon as we
I
dropped
don't
it.
know. I don't think they can. I don't think they can access the log like that unless that AI gave it up willingly.
Mhm.
What we should do? Okay, can we hail them directly and just so we can speak to them and not the AI for a second?
Hey, sis, I'll open the channel. There's a buzz and a click. Voice comes over. Bay 9.
Why? So we were told that we have to go to that bay because all the other docks are busy, but I can see that's not the case.
No, we're having some malfunctions on the inside. Loaders are busy.
Can I make an insight?
Can I make a perception?
Sure.
Well, I would say that that's actually an 11, but the dice is at the 3.
It's a 3. It's a 3.
1 second. 1 second.
Did we both just roll 3s?
Uh-huh. Life is cruel.
Well,
What
my
skill-
check was an 11 in total.
What skill are you rolling for?
Insight.
Oh shit! I only got 8 altogether.
Pardon?
Insight.
Oh, insight. Do I have insight?
It's sense motive. It's sense motive in this.
Nope. I have 0 skill in that, which
So
doesn't surprise me.
what does my sense motive tell me, Jake?
Based on the 11, was it? Or 8?
I only got an 8.
Based on the low insight rolls, seems legit.
Okay, I shrug and then say, "All right, Bay 9 it is then."
Okay, I'll take us in slowly.
Take a pilot
This
check.
is going to end badly.
That's a 15.
Solid with the 3s. With a 15, you managed to take her in nice and easy. No real problems, there's no real conditions.
Can't believe it's 3 3s in a row.
3 3s in a row. Lands in. First thing you notice about Bay 9 is that, yes, it is a military designated bay, normally reserved for fighters or destroyers, dreadnought class vessels that come through. The other thing you notice is that it is completely dead.
Oh, so we don't have okay. I was actually expecting the opposite here.
No,
I thought we were going to have a platoon waiting for us or something.
It is completely dead. The only thing you can see is a humanoid figure standing by the landing bay as the ship kind of glides in and sits in.
I wonder if it's the dude who
Doesn't have a
spoke to us through the
lightsaber, does
cube.
he?
No, it's not about to be.
Oh, God.
It's not about to be a Rogue One moment.
You mean a laser sword?
Yes, a laser sword.
A laser
I'm going to look
sword.
to Iliad and go, something about this doesn't feel right.
As the ship
Yeah.
lands, the back doors, the force field, as it were, that allows the through is activated so that the area is pressurized. Everything's fine. Figure is still standing there.
My
That
feelings
figure was
are
there even without the pressure.
my feelings are this is probably the guy who spoke to us through the cube.
Okay.
Or maybe not him directly, but
you've
someone
landed.
close to him.
Okay, so can I be there on the loading ramp as we open it?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody can.
I can see through the cockpit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is where they execute
Hey,
Order 66.
Ace.
I can see through the sensors on the ship.
Zeb, do you want to come with me to the loading bay? The loading ramp.
And just quick, Price, what you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stay in the cockpit. I'm just gonna ask Ace. Anything on thermals on that figure?
Cold. My money's
Cold.
on.
There.
My money's on
Hologram?
Android.
Oh. I was hoping hologram.
Androids still give off heat.
I know, but
not in a vacuum.
holograms can't hurt you.
EM signature.
Definitely. That's what I said. My money's on Android. And
Okay.
the Black Silver, the computer scan pretty much reveals the exact same thing. It's pretty much probably it's most likely going to be an android.
Iliad, what do you think about the about if that's the person who hired us, then we can't really hide the girl, can we? Because he's obviously going to know the hiding spots on the ship because they kind of
The
gave
ship
it
is
to us.
ours. The ship is ours. They gave us the ship.
No,
Permanently.
what I mean is that they'll know about the secret hiding places on the ship because it was their ship.
Oh yeah, sure, but I don't think they're concerned about that. And also, we're under no obligation to.
What are the terms of your employment?
Yeah, it's nothing to do with that deal. It should be fine.
Okay, let's hope so. All right.
What were the terms of your employment?
It was just to retrieve the data that we copied from the black site.
That's true.
Then that is all he should be interested in.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Do you have a copy I can grab, Black Silver?
The
Black box is not copyable.
but it's a physical thing, isn't it?
It's a physical thing. You have to physically hand it over.
Okay. I'll grab the black box and head to the loading bay with Zeb then.
Okay.
Yep.
And-
Sorry.
Was there any sort of indication for me to know who to hand it off to, or?
Not as far as you're aware. Just know, retrieve it, return to level 17.
I'm going to point and be like, my money's on that guy.
Oh.
Okay, let's see.
Once I've done my scans, I'm going to head back to the loading bay.
Okay.
And follow up with everyone else.
All right,
But
cool.
I'm going to make sure that.
You're gonna hang back, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake. What was the name of the system that we were in to retrieve the black box?
I didn't have a name, I only had a designation.
Okay, cool. But I know that designation, right?
Yes, you do. It was.
Okay, cool. Don't worry. It's not the specific designation I'm too worried about. It's just I want to be able to identify who is to take this, basically. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this is it's actually a. What's the pool? Yeah, you know the designation. I don't have them to hand.
Cool. Yeah, no worries. So when the loading ramp opens, I guess is the guy like there at the bottom of it,
Yep.
or
He's standing at the bottom, and the first thing he does is hold up a data pad.
what's on the data pad?
Just outstretched hand, data pad.
Sorry.
So he just has an outstretched hand with a data pad on it, and handing it to one of you two in front of you. Like, there you go.
Okay, I take it.
The minute you grab it, the data pad, you feel like a pinprick, same as you did when you first took the job.
Sure, gotcha on the puck. Yeah.
And it comes to life, and you see the silhouette of Mr. Green.
Right.
Well, I guess that means a job well done.
I say yeah, it's right here, and I nod towards my hand holding the black box.
Good. Hand that to my associate. He'll take care of it.
Okay. Yeah, I hand it over to him.
Any survivors?
We have a couple. They're on board with us.
Do you have designations?
Do I have that to hand?
Yeah, just their names, effectively.
Yeah. I tell him.
Right. Here, you're kind of beeping. Okay. And contracts are severed. Severance packages provided. I assume it wasn't too much of a trouble.
It was a little bit interesting. So the droids sort of went a bit haywire and attacked us, but there wasn't any sort of crazy equipment there or anything that was too much of a trouble to get past. But yeah, we had the equipment to deal with it. So
That makes sense.
It's all good.
Well, very well. He says, I've transferred 2,500 credits into each of the crew. And as previously stated, the vessel is now yours. I said, if you just allow my associate 2 minutes, just walk up the cargo ramp, he'll be sure to clear everything off for you.
Clear everything off?
Mm-hmm.
What are you clearing off?
Yeah, sorry, I don't quite follow. I thought you just wanted the black box.
I do, but I will be initiating a strip procedure, pulling all data and info from the vessel and resetting everything to factory. Wouldn't want anything.
I look at
falling into the
Iliad
wrong
with a
hands.
raised eyebrow, like,
I see. Okay, sure thing. That's
Wouldn't do
yeah,
well,
no problem.
wouldn't,
That
wouldn't,
makes
do,
sense.
wouldn't do too well to have a ship that's only pre-programmed to one destination now, would it?
Oh, of course, that absolutely makes sense. But could you I know you had your fail safe on the AI. It was turning the ship off. I'll be honest. It was turning the ship off if we veered down a certain way. I understand you have to protect your information and everything. Is it okay if when it's factory reset that won't happen again, will it? Because the AI won't be aware of anything.
The AI will be reset to factory settings.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I walk down the ramp as he walks on, and then
Just in case, I'll be out here.
No. What I do is, oh god, I don't know. This is gonna be so fucking ballsy. I wish Daryl was here right now.
You mean Sappy?
Oh no, no, it's because I'm gonna ask Black Silver as well. But fuck, this could go really bad. Okay, basically out of game for a second. Jake, do you mind if I discuss this out of game for just a second?
Go ahead.
Or do you want me to just
No.
go with it?
What is your plan?
go for it. Whatever it is, this sounds fun.
Oh no!
Do it! Do it!
All right.
Is it a look that you could give me to make me understand what you're about to do?
I can't, unfortunately. So basically, it's a bit of a complicated thing. So what I'm going to do is, Jake, our local communication between the parties on a closed loop, isn't it?
Jake?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is, when that guy is 100% out of earshot, I'm gonna say, I don't know if I should do this. Oh,
Do it! This sounds fun. I fully endorse this. It sounds hilarious.
So the android is walking up the ramp and appears to be approaching a console in the cargo bay. He seems to have like a finger jack that he's pretty much just about to wipe the system.
Okay, fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to message all the the whole party will hear this. I'm going to say Black, Silver, Price, Safi. How quick could you take a backup of everything of the ship's data?
I'm currently jacked in. How quickly could I make a backup?
Of everything you could gain access to? A minute?
I'll initiate the procedure.
Do I hear how long it would take for them to do this?
Yeah, no, sit over the
because that's what I asked.
Sit over the closed loop, so you would hear it. Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to do it stealth. Like, I don't want to leave any trace of my copy behind.
I'm going to.
This will be a straight computer use check, and then what are you doing, Zeb?
I'm going to attempt to distract the guy for a minute.
I'm going to assist.
Okay.
29.
29.
I'm
that's going to take less than a minute.
I'm going to stop him on the runway.
He's at the console.
Oh, I'm going to stop him for a second.
How are you doing this?
I'm just going to ask him if we're stuck here for a little bit. There doesn't seem to be anyone here. Do we have access to like the facilities, food, like restaurants and things like that around here?
Make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
I'm assisting, by the way.
Have advantage.
It's
17 on the roll.
Roll again.
It's +2. It's not.
Oh, it's +2. Okay, never mind.
This isn't.
Okay.
This isn't fifth ed.
Gotcha.
So that jacks me to 31 then.
Right. So you managed to stop this guy from like putting into the system immediately. Stands and says your bay situation.
I feel like I mean, it's a simple question. It's not really You'd have to be rude about it.
Rude at the simple answer. Had to do a
Cool.
job.
It's all right, Zeb. It's all right. Let's get on with it.
And you've
I
pulled,
will
you've,
look-
pulled, you've,
I will
pulled, you've pulled the
accept.
data.
I'll look sad at him and be like, "Oh, fine."
I
turns-
pulled data. I will
turns-
disconnect.
He turns and plugs in. Literally, there's the system, the ship kind of goes, everything powers up for a second, and then it kind of woo, and then kicks on standby. Like, right, that should be a factory reset. Well, it's been fun.
Pleasure doing business with you.
The android turns. The data pad itself, you see it kind of, there's a compartment on the back of it that kind of slides open, and another chip falls out. Just please hand the data pad back to my associate.
Of course. Hand that back to him.
So that's a burner chip. If I ever need to reach you again, I'll, be able to.
Perfect.
Right, well, thank you for your service. With that, the android turns and starts heading out. Next thing is the AI boots back up on the system and just says, "Hi, welcome to the ship."
Hello again, Ace.
Is this to be my designation?
Yeah.
Logging designation Ace. We appear to be being hailed by the docking command of Ryst station. Would you like me to patch them through?
Yeah, please.
It's the same guy. It's like, we've had some things clear up. Head to Bay 14.
No problem.
Ace is just like, would you like me to take us in?
Yes, please.
Okay, so everybody back on the ship, I'm assuming?
You're good.
Never left it.
Ship kind of spools up, everything closes up, doors open. You leave Bay 9, and then within 5 minutes, you are docking back at the actual Ryst station docks, surrounded by dock workers and all sorts.
Whilst we're flying, I'm just going to turn to Black Silver and go, do you mind checking that on the closed loop?
Wait, nope, not yet. I need you guys to check if there's any back doors that have been left in our factory reset system.
Oh, good point.
Well, jack in and do so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll take a look myself.
make another computer check roll. Real basic stuff.
Oh my god!
Solid 3.
Another solid 3. That's 15 from me.
Okay, so plus 2.
That's a
Kicks it up,
14 from me.
kicks it up to a 17.
Can we have Safi?
No, we can't, because he's not here. He's asleep.
Dude, how many 3s can I roll in a single session?
You managed to pretty much scan through everything. You don't find everything appears to have been reset to factory settings entirely. Everything from like life support preferences, designations of AI, even the ship's name has been reset.
Oh, well, we'll need to fix that.
What are we calling this ship?
The narcissist.
The narcissist.
Oh yeah.
I'll reset its ship designation. The narcissist.
So you reset the designation. This time you know that the name's been set in properly, and changing a ship's designation requires a lot of expertise to do it.
Wait,
well,
does that make
things breaking?
Sorry.
They're pretty much designed to brick ships if you try and alter their.
Does that make us narcs?
No.
If the ship is named Narcissist and we're its
Could I feasibly do this?
Seb, I am going to kill you. And do what? Yes, no. This has been factory reset, so this is entering the designation now. Once it's been set, changing the designation requires a large amount of skill to do it safely without bricking the ship or alerting the authorities.
Gotcha. So we're changing. This is then locking into being the narcissist.
Yes.
This will be very difficult to undo. Do you wish me to continue?
I was happy with it the first time, so yeah. If everyone else is.
Reset the narcissist.
Okay. Reset back to factory, and the ship is docked. The harbourmaster has appeared at the bottom of the ramp again.
Yeah. Just before we head off, I'm going to reiterate what I said to Black Silver in that could he check the ship systems on a closed loop system when he gets the chance? As in, a system that has no external access at all. And
I'm very familiar with what you mean. I'm sure I'll find the time.
Okay, so Harbour Master waiting at the bottom of the ramp.
I walk towards him.
Following you.
Looks up. Any cargo, any contraband, anything you need to deal with?
Nope.
Nothing to declare.
Good enough for me. Any thumbprint?
Yep. I give him my thumb.
All right, sounds good. You have docking privilege for the next 72 hours. After that, we start charging.
No problem. What's the charge?
Birth rate goes at about 100 credits a day.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
No worries.
And
Turns heel and starts heading over back to his kind of like shed.
Jake, did you say we gained 2.5 or 25?
2,500.
2,500.
2,500
or-
credits each.
What was
Nice.
my severance package looking like?
Severance package just happens to be 2,500 credits.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
So-
Same with Safi's.
My research fellowship has ended.
Your research fellowship has ended, but it's effectively been marked on your resume, permanent record, as like honorably discharged. So whatever you were working towards has been logged as completed.
Okay.
So it doesn't look like you got fired. It looks like you did what they needed to, and they had no more use for you.
Awesome. Well. Well.
Well,
That
fancy
has interesting consequences for the data I'm currently carrying.
Yes, it does.
Oh, well, it's also the consequences of when Mr. Green calls up and goes, "Why did you release that crazy AI into the system, you bastard?"
It's been playing the Numa Numa song on repeat across all wavelengths for 72 hours.
You didn't tell us not to do it.
Specifically did not tell us not to do this.
It's true, but it's pretty obvious you probably wouldn't want us to do it.
Pretty obvious is one thing. Assuming, assumptions. They make an ass of you and me.
Oh my god.
Anyway, ship has docked. You are back on Ryst Station. The world is your lobster.
Right, well, that handover went smoother than I thought it would.
Congratulations, you have completed the tutorial level.
So,
I guess that leaves me without an employer.
The tutorial out. Starship combat.
well, Safi is going to be joining us. You know, there's always room for another if you're up for it.
Another accomplished computer user. It's always handy to have.
Also, Black Silver, you know full well that you have the space within the cargo areas and the living quarters on this vessel to build yourself another sanctum should you want to.
Oh, absolutely, I do. It looks like I will be performing my research freelance for the time being. I see no reason why I wouldn't take up such a generous offer of protection.
Right. Glad to have you on board. By the way, I can hear myself in someone else's mic.
Yeah, it's been happening a couple
Yeah.
of times.
Alright, so I'm going to turn to Iliad. And I'm going to say, well then, how about we set up our next mark?
Well, we should probably think about, maybe helping out Lorella. Because she may be on borrowed time.
Based on your assessment, the eternity cell will keep her in a living state long past all of you have died.
Ah.
Whether or not that is a living state of perpetual psychic projection, or if you actually then or try and heal her, as it were, back to being a regular person, as opposed to a desiccated corpse, then she'd have an average life expectancy.
How easy is it to heal her, though? Like, can Addie do it with her magic alone, or?
It would, magical healing, like technomancy healing, that kind of stuff, divine healing, would not, because she's not damaged, not bleeding out. She doesn't have a low health.
She's aged.
She's aged, so it's a de-aging process, effectively. It's kind of like trying to turn beef jerky back into regular meat.
So hold on a sec. There's de-aging, there's age-reversing technology in this setting.
Yes, it is very, very expensive and normally saved only for the highest of highest. Why do you think you have mayors, governors, system commanders that are in their 200s, 300s? It wasn't a technology that was well known and well used during the time of the Empire. It's a recent in historical terms, recent development. It's not.
How much would it be to like de-age one person then?
Depending on who does it, how you obtain the materials, how you get the what you would need to do it, the technology cost, it could range anywhere between tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands.
That's pretty cheap.
Okay.
To help her right now, we need to build funds.
Or find somebody who you can, I guess, tit for tat, who happens to be a bioengineer. You're currently somewhere near Redneck Junction. So good luck finding a bioengineer.
No, of course.
That's not that creepy guy from Cyberpunk.
I probably am the closest thing around these parts.
Yeah. Most intelligent thing in the system is currently in the ship.
Anyway, we can't hang around here for too long. Otherwise, we're gonna just start accruing debts.
No, of course. We've got 3 days. So, okay. So there's a couple. Apart from getting another job, here are the leads we have. So, maybe we should just talk around the on the deck in the ship for a second, because
staying in the ship.
Well, just to briefly talk about what our potential options are, because just to avoid some earshot and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, so first things first, I tell Ace to only disclose anything that's discussed about with the members that are on board the ship currently.
Agreed. Protocol designated.
And then, okay, so guys, here's our list of things that we can, I suppose, that we can pursue. So, I suppose let's see if we can. Maybe along the way we'll find a way to help Lorella, but at least for now, that the cryo chamber is going to keep her in good shape, and there's obviously the battery isn't exactly going to run out anytime soon, so we're okay in that regard. But
how do you like a chore extra crispy?
Something I did see though, in that journal we picked up on the other ship, and then I just share the details of all the systems in the Lost Colony.
Okay. So Victoria is the colony name, and the closest designating system is literally just a string of letters and numbers. It's ways away. Not even in this region of space.
I have a data log that I managed to download from the Alston, if you'll recall.
You do.
Can I cross-reference those notes with that data log to see if I can get anything out of it?
So what you pull from that, due to the shifting positions of the systems and the fact that everything is technically in orbit, you know that so you are currently in the Castellian region. Scaling up to the next level of regions you're currently in the outer core. So within the outer core, you go further, and there are two large areas called the Karasaki Wilds and the Great Shroud. And then there's rim space from there. The only thing that is a constant on all of these charts, because the charts have shifted and moved over the centuries, is a area called Machiavelli's Edge. It is a semi-collapsed star, almost a black hole, but not. Something didn't have enough fissile material and didn't collapse enough, but still generates a ton of solar weather in the area.
Probably, it might be a pulsar then.
Could be. It is not important to anybody who cares to look. The Great Shroud is lawless space. You're in 0 sec. Nobody's coming to help you. Machiavelli's Edge is on these records, which means that it puts Victoria, the colony, somewhere on the outskirts of the Great Shroud from the core. Which is a long-ass way away.
Mm-hmm. That's halfway home for me, isn't it?
Yes, that would be literally halfway home.
Okay, I will part with that information.
Okay.
Effectively, we know where it is then.
You know that it is within the outer rim of the Great Shroud. Due to the rotationary factors of the systems, it'd be like trying to find a hay in a needle stack.
We have a very good estimate.
You have a good estimate, but it still contains thousands of systems. And you're looking for one system that contains one colony. And at that, an outer colony. Without further static features to triangulate, you could be searching systems for years.
Okay, so I guess if since we basically had a computer try and triangulate this for us, then I think, okay, maybe that's not a great lead for us for now. I guess we might have to go back to that ship at some point.
It would take far more resources than we currently have to zero in on that. Even
it sounds like we might need some kind of a star map or something.
We do have one of those on the ship by default, I think.
You do, but what you don't have, which is what Zeb's just kind of touched on, is a map of the time. So the star maps are constantly shifting, changing. Drift space expands and contracts as people causes this move. Slightly.
If I jack into my comm unit, I can reach the net, can't I?
Yes, and you would have to run an ongoing program to pull, because there are no complete maps. They don't exist. If there was a complete map, everybody would know where everything was. There'd be no lost colonies.
We're still currently.
Yep.
Sorry, no. I'll let you. Okay, I was like, we're still docked on a mercenary area of the military area of the place, right?
No,
we've moved.
I know.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Sorry.
Back down. You're now on Bay 14, which is back to Ryst side.
Just going on this Black Silver, rather than sort of, I don't know how long it may take for you to gather that old map, but I think the other option we have is to go back to that wreckage.
Go back to the Ulston would be an idea.
But I think maybe we should do it maybe when we establish ourselves a bit better, maybe get some better equipment.
I have an idea for that.
I could have one of the ship's computers do a subroutine for us. Keep it in the background. It won't take up much power, but we'll get a map eventually.
It's data processing, effectively. Literally, it's cross-referencing myth and rumor from old fractured files that you find around the net, and that's old fractured files that are publicly available, not including files that may be in private networks.
Explained it well. You explained it well. It's just my character doesn't know computers.
Gotcha.
Jake, while this is all going on, while this conversation is happening, can I just be on the extranet just checking local bounties?
He's googling it.
Sure, let's kind of Google it. So,
I'm gonna
just real quick,
sorry.
hold up. So, from the stations, effectively like close as you can find, maybe a job board. There are 4 major avenues of generating income from this station specifically. Firstly is bounty hunting, second is transportation, third is exploration, and fourth is mining.
Okay.
So, bounties, you can see 4 bounties that are active within not so much within the system, but within you can designate how close you want it to be. So within what would be reasonable deviation from your current location, there are 4 bounties.
Okay. I wish to cross-reference bounties with some of the other jobs, such as the transport or mining and such, and see which jobs are in close enough proximity to one another that we could effectively kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay, so there are 2 that match up. Firstly,
Okay.
there is a bounty out on a female Vesk known as Cry. She is a known warlord who is wanted for literally a laundry list of offences: assault, battery, murder, organised crime, kidnapping. Think big dog, but still small potatoes.
Sorry, could you like copy pasta this to me?
Sure.
Is it dead or alive or alive?
Dead or alive.
Is there a better reward for alive?
Yes, there is always a better reward for alive. So
It's
you've
always
got
very well life.
Sometimes they don't give a damn. Like they just want the target dead.
It would probably be listed different then.
so you've got that as the deal, and the other thing that is in not because again you'd have to find this person, but it's going in the last known coordinates, last known location. This job puts you close to her last sighting, which was a couple of weeks ago. So she could be very far from there by now, but it's a good place to pick up the trail.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that matches up is man by the name of Len Fitzgerald.
My, what a name that is.
Perhaps if we go to the shipment of recycles, then we could get Black Silver to pick up a trail from one of the computers, perhaps.
I haven't even divulged this information yet.
Yeah. He's looking
And-
this up on his own.
I'm doing this while you guys are all having this
Oh,
conversation.
right, sorry.
His last known location was a city called Acaport, which is a metropolis. Quite a ways away, but that would be the job going that direction.
What is the payment on those shipment jobs?
So the recycles job is low. You're talking 1k, but it is a job that is specifically for station management. So it would get you favours if you plan on operating out of Ryst Station.
Favors could be good.
The shipment of vat-grown cell cultures going to Acaport pays 3k and has a yellow designation. White designation is the recycles have a white designation. White designation just simply means it's pick it up here, drop it off here, as long as there should not be any complications. It's not actively hunted, it's not wanted, and it doesn't go through any dangerous systems.
Right, it's a risk factor.
Risk factor. Shipment of vat-grown cell cultures going to Acaport. Acaport is a major trading hub, so you will be travelling on main trade alleyways, and the value of vat-grown cell cultures is higher. And there have been. It's pretty much how many jobs for the Crux Reno Medical Corporation have been hit prior.
Do you know what's actually rather amusing looking at this? Basically, the 2 job types together combined pay about 8k each.
I'm saving up for some power armor, some decent power armor.
You'd almost think that I specced out the balance of the payments.
So I as I'm talking to the others about this, potentially going back to the ship later on, I say, I don't expect everyone to be so hot on the idea of this, but ever since I acquired these abilities, I just wanted to find out a little bit more. So yeah, that was sort of my motivation for wanting to, I suppose, find this colony, and maybe how this Ashen Order thing just came to exist, I guess.
Well, you would be aware, as being a person who's lived in the world, that Metropolis will most likely be your best spot for answers in regards to the Ashen Order. You're not going to find a lot. You're not going to find a lot of answers at a trash reprocessing facility floating out in the middle of space.
Oh, I guess, but the thing is, what I wanted to do was sort of because on that ship, right, there's a bit more information about the past and how it came to be.
Yes.
And what my character didn't want to do was get in bed with effectively what might be some sort of mega corporation and become some sort of soulless
Meat suit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to sort of just join up with these guys, but I don't know anything about them. So
I mean, if the pay's good.
I was just sort of wanting to find my character's place in the universe, I guess. So it's sort of like a bit of a soul-searching thing now. He's got these powers and he sort of doesn't know what to think of it, sort of thing. So,
got it.
Considering I'm now connected to the infosphere, I'd like to start, because I did make this promise, I'd like to start compiling a database on all the Solarian orders via all the information I can grab off the net.
Okay, gotcha. That'll take a little minute, but you'll have that pretty much squared away.
Would I be able to use some connections, perhaps with my profession skill, to see if I can ring up anyone and see if there's any perhaps competition, fighting competitions, perhaps like fisticuffs, like boxing matches or anything?
Ryst Station, all blood sports are outlawed, as is the case on the majority of stations. If you're after like arena combat, it's mostly planet-side, and it's either in Metropolis or dive bar planets.
Right. Okay.
It's not, unless you're talking about like Caesar's Palace, the MGM Grant, proper like that stuff does exist. There are leagues and MMA and all that kind of stuff, but you're not going to find it on a station. They're always planet side, because there are a lot of rules to do with what can be violence wise cooked up with people in space.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
there's
usually exceptions sometimes. So
there are, but not on Ryst Station. Ryst Station is a very basic like area. It's not anything fancy. There's not any kind of smugglers' holes. There's not any crazy like criminal activity going on that would have unlicensed arena fighting, because this area is pretty well maintained from a law and order perspective.
In that case, I'm going to spend my cash on a basic cargo power armor, if there's one available from somewhere, and to get myself a loading job and get some extra cash.
Okay, that would be an option. That would take weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
for weeks.
That's true. All right.
That's
it's probably not worth spending it on a basic rig then.
Pretty much what you were doing prior to getting this money.
Yeah, basically.
Dude, you want to get yourself heavy armor first before you get power armor.
Nah, I've already got heavy armor.
You want to get yourself better heavy armor then.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna focus on power armor, dude.
There is two other categories of income that could be gained at this station: exploration and mining. If you have any interest in either of those.
Mining. I think exploration might take me away from the group though.
That was directed at Price, who's tapped into the network right now.
Oh, sorry.
Who will probably bring this information to everybody's attention, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'm formulating like what avenues are open to us in terms of going our own way.
Okay.
Of like, between the four different options, and also formulating the whole right. So these are our options, and if we do this, and we could do this, or we could do this,
right.
like
So exploration covers two main avenues from here. There is notification of a waveform anomaly in system P7RY2, and there is also a known salvage field in C7R3, which was left over from a decades-old corporate conflict. Think rusting hulks floating in space, already been picked clean, but people still go out and look for stuff that may have been overlooked or stuff that wasn't valuable at the time that is valuable now.
Yeah, sorry, so there is something I did need to do quite urgently, actually. Alexa,
Yes.
since you now have the data of the ship, can you find out what's in that radioactive box that appears to be fused to our wall inside the ship, please?
I will certainly attempt to. It could take me some time.
Thanks. I don't know why, I just have this uneasy feeling about it because it doesn't seem to be a ship component.
I'd forgotten all about that.
Everybody had.
Yeah, I just hope our last employer doesn't have some insurance policy against us.
I would not put it past them.
It was an active radioactive cube.
So trying to hack into that will take time. Get through its animation.
Mm-hmm. It's times like these when I realise I would actually rather try to get hold of some kind of onboard computer, because currently I can only pay attention to one thing at once on my onboard data.
Yes.
If I could multitask or by delegating to a computer, that would be ideal.
So when it comes to purchasing equipment, we're able to just spend the money, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ryst Station has no positives or negatives.
Okay.
So if you guys want to take a break to equip, you do that.
The thing that I'm sort of thinking about trying to onboard a computer would involve cybernetic surgery.
This would not be the place for that.
Yeah, no. And I can't operate on myself, at
No.
least without the proper setup. I may settle for some sort of wearable, perhaps. Let's have a look at this.
Gotcha. So I'm going to pause up.
Mm-hmm.
Remember to like and subscribe, and episode 5 will be up within the next 2 weeks, along with the episode 3 recap, when I can herd the cats that are my players into a coherent form. Anyway, until next time.